Have you ever stopped to think that something as ordinary as washing your hands or feet could quietly be adding or taking away years from your life? We talk endlessly about eating the right foods, exercising regularly, and managing stress. Those are the usual suspects when it comes to longevity. But what if one of the most overlooked keys to lasting health, something hiding in plain sight, was your daily hygiene routine? Yes, hygiene. Not just looking clean, but being clean, especially in certain areas of the body that, if ignored, can silently compromise your health. In today's video, we're diving into a surprising but critical aspect of wellness that often goes unnoticed. The 5 body parts you must wash every single day if you want to protect your health and potentially extend your life. This isn't just about smelling fresh or feeling tidy. These body parts, when properly cared for, play a direct role in preventing infections, improving blood circulation, lowering inflammation, and even boosting your immune system. It sounds almost too simple, right? But that's exactly what makes it powerful. Small, consistent habits often make the biggest impact over time. And neglecting these areas, even unintentionally, could leave you vulnerable to chronic issues you might not see coming. So if you've ever wondered whether you're doing enough to protect your long-term health, stay with us until the end. You'll not only discover what these 5 areas are, but more importantly, you'll understand why caring for them could be one of the easiest, most effective things you can do to feel stronger, healthier, and more resilient as you age. Let's begin. Watch out your hands, the frontline soldiers of your immune system. Your hands are your constant companions. They open doors, grip handrails, type on keyboards, carry groceries, and stroke the faces of loved ones. But with every touch, they also collect an invisible trail of germs, viruses, and bacteria. Elevator buttons, ATM machines, your phone, and yes, even your own face are all common culprits. Think about it. How many times a day do you touch your eyes, nose, or mouth without even realizing it? Each of those moments is a potential entry point for harmful microbes. This is why hand washing is far more than a hygiene habit. It's your first line of defense against illness. Studies consistently show that regular thorough hand washing can drastically reduce the risk of colds, the flu, gastrointestinal infections, and even respiratory illnesses like pneumonia. And yet most people are far too casual about it. A quick rinse under cold water, a dab of soap, and a 5-second scrub, then dry and done. But that's not enough, not even close. For hand washing to be truly effective, you need to do it right. Warm water, plenty of soap, at least 20 seconds of scrubbing, making sure to reach between the fingers, under the nails, and around the wrists. It might feel like a small ritual, but it's a powerful one. Let's take James, a 72-year-old retired teacher. For most of his life, he believed washing his hands before meals was enough. But he often caught colds and his energy was always dipping. It wasn't until his doctor urged him to wash his hands more frequently, especially after outings handling cash or petting his boy, that things started to change. He began getting sick less often. His seasonal allergies didn't flare up as much. He even felt more energetic and clear-headed. The lesson: good hand hygiene isn't just about staying clean, it's about building a strong everyday barrier between you and the countless threats your body faces. If you've been brushing off those 20 seconds at the sink, it might be time to rethink that habit. Your hands are your daily defenders. Give them the care they deserve. To your feet, the foundation of your freedom. We often say stay grounded, but how grounded can you feel when your feet are in pain, constantly irritated, or worse, harboring infections that quietly erode your health? Your feet do more than carry you from point A to B. They are the literal foundation of your mobility, balance, and independence, especially as you age. And yet they're among the most neglected parts of the body when it comes to proper hygiene. Many people assume that when they shower, the soapy water running down their legs is enough to clean their feet. But here's the truth: it's not. Your feet need direct, intentional care. Why do? Because they're often warm, moist, and enclosed in shoes for hours, a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. And as you grow older, the stakes get higher. Circulation naturally slows. Skin becomes thinner and nerve sensitivity can decrease, making your feet more susceptible to unnoticed injuries. Fungal infections like athlete's foot and even diabetic ulcers. Have you ever had itchy feet, cracked heels, or that persistent odor you can't seem to shake? Those are your feet telling you something's wrong. Let me tell you about George, a 75-year-old former mechanic. He spent his entire career standing on concrete floors fixing cars. But in retirement, his feet began to trouble him more than ever. Soreness, thickened toenails, and tiny cuts that refused to heal. His doctor asked him a simple question: "Are you really cleaning your feet every day?" That question changed everything. George started using a soft brush to scrub his feet daily in the shower, paying special attention to the spaces between his toes. He used warm, soapy water, followed by thorough drying, especially in those moist crevices where bacteria love to hide. Within weeks, the swelling reduced, the odor faded, and he noticed he wasn't as tired on his feet anymore. Proper foot hygiene is not about vanity, it's about vitality. The feet you walk on today are the same ones that will carry you through your later years. Clean them well, treat them kindly, because if your foundation isn't strong, how can you expect the rest of you to stand tall? Coming up next, we'll explore the three other body parts that are just as critical and just as commonly neglected. You'll be surprised how these simple changes in your daily routine could help you fight inflammation, prevent infections, and even support better brain health. But before we continue, here's a quick reminder if this video is resonating with you. If you're starting to realize that these small changes could make a big impact, let us know by commenting below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss the rest of this important series. Now take a deep breath. Let's keep going and take a step closer to a cleaner, healthier, longer life. Earlier, we saw how one simple habit, daily foot care, transformed not only a man's foot health, but also improved his balance and overall mobility. Now let's move upward to another critical and often neglected area of the body. 3. Your face. More than just skin deep. Your face isn't just what the world sees, it's one of the most exposed and vulnerable parts of your entire body. Every day it faces an invisible army of airborne bacteria, dust particles, pollutants, and the natural oils from your own hands. Yet many of us treat it as an afterthought, giving it a splash of water here and there and calling it a day. But here's the truth: not washing your face properly does far more than just lead to breakouts. It can silently raise your risk of eye infections, breathing difficulties, and even weaken your immune system's first line of defense. Think about it for a moment. Your eyes, nose, and mouth are open doorways. They're direct entry points for germs. And throughout the day, your skin quietly collects a film of microscopic debris. Every time you unconsciously touch your face, rubbing your eyes, scratching your cheek, you're transferring bacteria straight to these delicate gateways. That's why a daily face cleansing routine isn't about vanity. It's a simple but vital act of protection. And there's one area that often goes unnoticed: the space around your eyes and nose. Your eyelids and eyelashes are excellent at trapping dust, but they also collect bacteria. Over time, this can lead to irritation, redness, or even infections like conjunctivitis. The same is true for your nostrils. They're your body's natural air filters, catching allergens and germs. But if they're not cleaned regularly, you're allowing those particles to accumulate right at the doorstep of your respiratory system. Let me introduce you to Susan, a 68-year-old retired librarian. For years, she believed that a quick rinse with cold water was all her face needed. But gradually, she began to notice that her eyes were often watery, her sinuses congested, and her skin increasingly irritated. She chalked it up to aging or seasonal allergies until one day she tried something different. Susan switched to a gentle, intentional cleansing routine. She used warm water, not hot, and a mild soap, carefully washing not only her face, but paying special attention to the contours around her eyes and the edges of her nostrils. The result? Her skin felt calmer. Her eyes were less watery. She even reported fewer allergy flare-ups. It's easy to underestimate just how much a few minutes of mindful face washing can impact your health. But here's the catch: many people go too far in the opposite direction. They scrub too hard. They use harsh soaps or hot water, believing it'll clean deeper. But what it actually does is strip your skin of its natural oils, leaving it dry, irritated, and even more vulnerable to bacteria. On the flip side, not washing thoroughly enough allows bacteria to stay behind. That's when you begin to notice clogged pores, more breakouts, and skin conditions like dermatitis that seem to appear out of nowhere. So if you've been dealing with frequent colds, rubbing your eyes more often, or noticing stubborn patches of irritated skin, it might not be random. It might be your face asking for better care. Daily facial hygiene isn't just about looking refreshed. It's about defending your body from unnecessary infections and chronic irritations. A soft washcloth, warm water, and a gentle cleanser can go a long way in helping you breathe easier, feel better, and protect your most visible features from invisible threats. For your armpits, the hidden key to preventing odor and infection. Now let's talk about a part of your body you probably don't give much thought to until it causes discomfort: your armpits. Your underarms do more than help regulate body temperature. They're also home to sweat glands that, when neglected, become a breeding ground for bacteria. And while most people associate underarm hygiene with preventing body odor, the truth runs deeper. Neglecting this small area can lead to skin inflammation, clogged sweat glands, painful rashes, and in more serious cases, even infections like abscesses. For older adults whose skin can become more sensitive with age and slower to heal, this risk increases significantly. Here's something many people don't realize: sweat itself doesn't smell. It's the interaction between sweat and bacteria on the skin that creates odor. And when that mixture builds up over time, it can lead to irritation, clogged pores, and sometimes painful conditions like hidradenitis suppurativa, a chronic skin disease marked by inflamed lumps under the skin. Meet David, a 74-year-old retired truck driver. For decades, he relied on deodorant alone, believing a quick swipe in the morning was all it took. But over time, he began to notice his underarms were more tender than usual, sometimes red, sometimes itchy, and the odor strangely stronger, not weaker. After doing some reading, David changed his routine. He began washing his underarms each morning using warm water and a mild soap before applying any deodorant. Within weeks, he noticed less irritation, a fresher scent that lasted longer, and fewer uncomfortable flare-ups. Here's where many people go wrong: they treat deodorant as a replacement for washing. But deodorant and antiperspirants are not cleaning agents. In fact, applying them to unwashed skin can trap bacteria beneath the surface, which leads to even more odor irritation and clogged pores. To avoid this cycle, it's essential to wash your underarms thoroughly every day. This removes dead skin cells, excess sweat, and the bacteria that fuel unpleasant smells and skin infections. And if you're using deodorant, which most of us do, make sure you apply it to clean, dry skin to prevent irritation and give it the best chance to do its job. If you've ever experienced persistent underarm itching, redness, or a stubborn odor that doesn't seem to go away no matter what you try, it might be time to take a closer look at your cleansing habits. A few extra minutes in the shower can make a lasting difference. Still with me? If this part of the video resonated with you and you're learning something new, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Now let's move forward, because the next area we're going to talk about might surprise you. It's small, often forgotten, but it can harbor some of the highest concentrations of bacteria on your body. Now that you understand how something as small as the belly button can silently harbor bacteria and lead to serious discomfort, let's take a moment to dive deeper into how to care for it properly and why it matters more than you might think. If you've ever noticed a strange odor coming from your belly button, or perhaps some mild discharge or redness, these are all subtle but clear signs that bacteria have made a home there and that an infection may be starting to develop. It's easy to overlook this part of your body, especially since it doesn't usually cause problems until it does. So what's the best way to care for this tiny, often ignored area? Start by using a gentle washcloth or a cotton swab dipped in warm, soapy water. Carefully clean the inside of the belly button without being too rough. It's not about scrubbing, it's about softly clearing away trapped dirt, sweat, and dead skin that tend to build up over time. Once you're done, it's crucial to dry the area thoroughly. Any lingering moisture can become a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. What should you avoid? Stay away from harsh chemicals, strong antiseptics, or excessive rubbing. These can do more harm than good, causing irritation, dryness, or even minor abrasions that leave the area more vulnerable to infection. If after regular cleaning that you still notice a persistent smell, unusual discharge, redness, or discomfort, don't ignore it. It may be time to see a doctor. Infections that begin in the belly button can occasionally spread deeper if left untreated. Take Nancy, for example, a 70-year-old grandmother who, like many of us, never thought twice about her belly button. For years, she assumed that simply letting the water run over her in the shower was good enough. But over time, she began noticing an odd sour smell that wouldn't go away, and occasionally the skin around her navel looked red and irritated. She finally decided to look into it and learned how to clean this hidden part of her body properly. Within just a few weeks of gently washing and thoroughly drying her belly button each day, the odor disappeared completely, and Nancy said she felt fresher and more confident overall. It's such a small thing, isn't it? But this tiny pocket of skin can cause big problems if we don't give it the care it deserves. If you've been skipping this step in your hygiene routine, now is the perfect moment to start including it. It takes less than a minute, but the benefits last all day. Now let's zoom out a bit and take a broader view. We've just walked through 5 essential body parts that truly need daily washing: your hands, your feet, your face, your armpits, and yes, even your belly button. These may seem like small details, but together they play a major role in protecting your health. Each one is a potential entry point for bacteria. Each one influences how comfortable and confident you feel, and each one contributes to your body's overall functioning. And yet these areas are often rushed through or completely forgotten in many people's daily hygiene routines. By simply paying more attention to these spots, you're not just freshening up, you're actively reducing your risk of infection, irritation, and long-term skin complications. Especially as we age, this matters even more. Older adults tend to experience changes in skin texture, slower wound healing, and more sensitivity to common irritants. That's why something as basic as cleaning your underarms thoroughly or washing your feet properly can make a profound difference in your everyday comfort and long-term health. The reality is, aging brings a new set of hygiene challenges. Your skin becomes thinner, more fragile. Your immune system reacts differently than it did decades ago, and your body needs a bit more intentional care. But here's the good news. You don't need expensive products or complicated routines. Just a few simple, consistent habits, like washing key areas daily, can completely change the way you feel, move, and live. So if there's one key message to take away from today's video, it's this: small, thoughtful actions have a big impact. Whether it's making sure your armpits are properly cleaned before applying deodorant, or remembering to gently wash your face, especially around your eyes and nostrils, each of these little efforts contributes to a healthier, more vibrant you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Out of the 5 body parts we've covered today, which ones are already part of your daily routine? And which ones do you think deserve a little more attention starting today? Leave a comment below and let me know what you've learned and how you plan to put it into action. Your voice matters here. Reading your experiences, your insights, and even your questions gives us the inspiration to keep creating content that informs, uplifts, and empowers. So don't be shy, let's talk about it. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like it, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new post. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue bringing you helpful, thoughtful content every week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay kind to yourself, and remember, sometimes it's the smallest habits that create the biggest changes.